it will come freaking back. Round 2, baby! Trigger does not just show pain from your past, it shows the identity you're trying to protect. Real damage comes from how you act in after being triggered. Hey guys, it's another episode of Comfort Talk, so come here for a second. We have to talk. Firstly, when you're feeling emotionally triggered, you're not reacting to now, you're reacting to past wound. I don't really like that people treat trigger as something to fix, because it's not a problem, it's just evidence. Evidence of what is still alive inside of you. This is why we always say that trigger is not your reaction to now, it's your reaction to your old wound. It's a trauma response. And it is a really important thing to remember, because sometimes it's not about people, it's not about circumstances, it's about our past. This is why instead of avoiding trigger, you have to pay attention to this. Running away never works. The more you suppress, the more it pushes. This is why sometimes we're just being like, fuck. That is a lot to process, because this wave of emotions just covers you and you have no idea what to do with this. It didn't go from nowhere. These emotions were waiting for you. And this is what almost no one talks about. Trigger does not just show pain from your past, it shows the identity you're trying to protect. For instance, I must be respected, I must not be rejected, I must be perfect. And when the identity is threatened, boom, trigger. But the problem with this whole thing is that even though we understand by our mind that our trigger lives inside of us and it started with us, it can end only with us, we are still expecting other people to change their treatment towards us in order for us to feel safe. Which is freaking pointless, because people sometimes cannot even understand that you're feeling triggered. Even when you try to communicate this with them, they have no freaking idea what we're talking about. This is your responsibility. And I know this one is hard pill to swallow, but we have to do that. We have to take our power back from people. It drains your energy so freaking much you can't even imagine. Because anytime you allow this trigger to come in, you allow it to be, it passes, and you don't pay attention to this anymore, it will come freaking back. Round 2, baby. Maybe, oh my god, it's so like, I think it's so common on the internet, journaling, but it's the perfect way to get to know yourself. It's really like perfect, because sometimes you just forget things, you know? Life happens and you just live your life again. Journal, please. And sometimes there will be people in your life you can't get rid of, like physically. You're just around them constantly, whether it's your family members, co-workers, I don't know, classmates. It's not even about being worthy of the space in your head. No, it's about staying sane. Because when you start giving other people opportunity to affect your emotional state, even if we're talking about a couple of minutes, you're gonna have freaking problems. This is why it's so freaking important. Anytime someone triggers you, of course you're gonna allow yourself to go through this pain. Do not suppress it. It will lead to only more and bigger emotions. This is why it's so important anytime you are triggered by some people to say that I claim my freaking power. I'm not taking any of this. You have to create emotional boundary for yourself, for your own sanity. You can never control other people, how they react, how they treat you. Some of them are gonna be so freaking bad, and you just can't. You don't have this opportunity. You don't have this capacity inside of you to allow them to affect you. We're a bit off the topic, but still, you got my point. Other people's actions do not define who you are, and they have nothing to do with you. Next, we have to talk about shame, because this is a big one, and this is something that keeps trigger stuck. When we're being triggered, the first thoughts are being like, I can't just stay calm. Why? Because your nervous system is designed for survival, not logic. And your body fires first, always. It's trying to protect you. That's the thing with our body. Doesn't matter what we're going through in life. Emotional pain, insecurity, a lack of confidence, anything, it always leads to survival. So one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is to stop yourself for feeling shame for being triggered. So anytime you're being triggered, change your focus from the thoughts like, I shouldn't feel this, to my body is trying to protect me based on all data. That's one we should be grateful for. It kills shame instantly. And one more thing about shame, that sometimes it is related to feeling like, I thought I've healed it. And this sense of regression, it's so freaking painful because you get frustrated with yourself. But the thing is, as we all know, growth is not linear. And when you're feeling triggered about the situation you think you've healed from, it's just like the universe telling you that, hey, it's ready to be processed consciously. Finally, it's ready to be cooked, babe. The trigger is just the opportunity to let this go on a more deep level, to release this trauma out of your body. You don't have to get rid of every single trigger in your life in order to feel powerful. If I've learned something in my life, is that emotional numbness is not mastery. But the real mastery is feeling the trigger and not abandoning yourself inside of it. Because even from spiritual perspective, trigger is something that leads you to presence, to regulation. That's actually love. The real damage comes from how you act in after being triggered. Sabotaging yourself, lashing out, shutting down, that's the part to work on. So our goal becomes not to not be triggered ever again, but to shorten the gap between being triggered and the awareness. Because once again, trigger is a journey. I want to say beautiful. Nah, it's a journey into the past. And you're being stuck there. Emotionally, mentally, and kind of physically, because the reaction is in your body. And finally, your triggers are showing you your next level. Because in order to go to the next level, you have to release resistance. Resistance creates even more resistance. I love this quote. And your trigger shows you where you're still resisting. It just signals the part of you that wants to be seen, that wants to be heard, that wants to be loved. And as well as usual, as I always say, you have to start giving this to yourself first and stop expecting other people to understand you, to accept you, to do the and all of that, to make you feel worthy, to make you feel enough. It always comes from you. Other people's validation will never be enough. Be more gentle with yourself and remember that your triggers are here not to break you. They're just showing you where you're still holding on to a version of yourself that is ready to evolve. Give yourself this beautiful opportunity, my love. Be brave enough to do so. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you loved it and it just brought you some peace. I wish you the most beautiful day, and as usual, remember that you are more powerful than you think you are. Till the next time. Mwah.